Hello everybody, Steve Pawanda here from ACRE, talking about the QuickBooks for the Rehabber and Wholesaler workshop we're going to be doing on September 11th from 8:30 to 12:30. I've been doing real estate now for about, probably almost 15 to 20 years, and this particular part of bookkeeping has always been a difficult part for me and for other people. And one of the things I found is if you've went to the store and bought QuickBooks at some point in your career here, you've taken it home and you've realized that it doesn't really work easily for our business. It's all the custom setup stuff that you would have to do. Most people aren't aware of how to set it up. They do have like an interview process that they can put you through. It's a self-interview to set up your business, but it just does not work very well for the guy that rehabs or for the guy that's a landlord. And that's what we're going to address in this class, is the specialized setup, creating the right chart of accounts, and how to enter in our specialized transactions that are a little bit different than the average business. One of the things I noticed that people have frequently is they come home from a closing and bang, they get a HUD-1 like this and they purchase something. So we're going to deal with the left side of the settlement sheet, and they got all these numbers here that are up and down the settlement sheet, and they're wondering to themselves, well, how do I get these numbers into QuickBooks? What makes them where do I put them? I don't know what fields they go to or what have you. Well, one of the things I always tell people is when you're doing a HUD and you're buying something, you probably bring a check. So that's exactly what we want to do, is we want to create a check, and then all the fields here underneath are going to be the fields that we're going to fill in with the line items from the HUD-1. And then the total amount of the check should equal the bottom of the HUD-1. And all these different accounts are part of our chart of accounts that we have to set up to match our business. So that's what we're going to be showing you a little bit here and going into great detail in the class. Now, when you sell something, you're going to get a settlement sheet similar to this, and we're going to be dealing with the right-hand side of the settlement sheet. Again, a whole bunch of numbers and a bottom number, which is this is the amount of money you walked home with. So it's going to be a deposit, which means we want to set up our deposit slip to match the HUD-1. And again, using our specialized chart of accounts, we have all the different accounts that match directly to the HUD-1, and then that allows us to have the bottom line match exactly. Going back to our first example, when we purchase something, as you can see, we have the contract sales price going to the contract sales price. Development cost, it's booked to the account. Then we have settlement charges, all the taxes. It shows exactly where they're going to be on this particular check. Now this is a rather simple purchase. There's no mortgages involved or anything, and we're going to get into more advanced ones, but just for the sake of doing this little demo, I wanted to show something that everyone could see and basically understand. What's important here though is that the number that you're bringing matches the bottom of the HUD exactly. And so if somebody ever wanted to audit you and see where that money went, you have an audit trail that goes back to your HUD-1, which is very, very important. Same thing on the opposite end. When you sell a property, you got these various fields or lines from the HUD showing up on your deposit slip here, being booked to various accounts that we've set up in our chart of accounts, and ultimately our deposit matches the bottom of our HUD-1 down there, which keeps everything in line and gives us a nice easy way to follow this transaction. When you're all finished doing something like this, one of the important things to do is to be able to run reports. Well, QuickBooks will provide a profit and loss report that we can do by class for this particular property, and then we're able to see exactly what we paid for it, what we have into it, what we sold it for, and where our money's going. Now we can look at this report even before the project's done and get a running idea of whether this deal is being profitable or not and where our money's going. And what's beautiful with these reports is if you double click on, like, say, this 19,000, it'll break down to the detail of it, which will show like where that came from, this check. Then if you click on it again, bam, we're back to the HUD-1 for that sale of the property, again with all the supporting detail. Very, very powerful tool to be able to look and track your numbers. More importantly, you can also run a profit and loss statement for your entire business for the whole year, and this is available daily, weekly, or monthly, or quarterly, yearly, however you want to run it, where you know exactly where your money is going every day that you're in there. You don't have to wait till you meet with your accountant at the end of the year or every quarter to find out if you're doing all right or not, or guess. More importantly, you can compare this to last year. You can see, hey, this is where my money's going versus last year. I'm making more in this category or less, how much the change year over year is. As you can see, this is some very, very powerful information if used correctly. What I'd like to encourage everybody to do is, if your system can't provide you with this information, you need to come to this workshop. Saturday, September 11th, 2010, 8:30 to 12:30. Your cost as a member is $110 and $129 for non-members. Important note though is that you should have QuickBooks Pro 2009 or later. The reason I suggest having 2009 is that I'm going to provide some examples and sample chart of accounts that you could load into your system. But if you have an older version, you're probably not going to be able to load my data in. Secondly, you want to have QuickBooks Pro because everything we do revolves around class tracking. We'll get into more detail on that in the course, but if you don't use class tracking, you're not going to be able to run these reports and be able to see the information you want. So I encourage everybody to take the time now and sign up online, get this thing and get this done. You will not believe what having a good set of books will do for your business. It'll lower your accounting cost and it'll make you a better investor. Thanks for listening. Bye.